This week, we talk about GERD, or do you call it Gerd?
It's Gerd.
Gerd. Watch people fight over steak and get into bicep curl form. Let's get into it. So you've been haunting me with your form talk. So every time I work out at my home gym every other day, right? And I do my push workout one day, skip a day, next day is the pull, right? And bicep curls are the last thing I do. And I alternate between dumbbells and I have an easy curl bar. Mm-hmm. And now I'm haunted by your words because I can feel the slightest bit of swing and I go,
just lean against the wall.
You're just, you're faking it.
Yep. Just back against the wall, feet out, back against the wall.
So we're going to get into that.
It's impossible to, how I always use the kipping.
Oh, yeah.
Kipping pull-ups.
Yep, kipping curls.
Kipping curls.
Yeah.
But you can't kip if you lean against the wall
right.
with your feet out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. If it's a flat surface, there's just no way.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to get into that
But if your feet aren't out and you lean against the wall, you can still go like this.
You can still, and give a little bit of
feet are back.
And if they're up, you can do a little bit of a push.
Right.
Like a hip push.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to dig deep into that in a bit. First thing, though, is I don't know if you saw this article. God, this cracked me up.
It's the internet, probably. Oh, I heard about it.
Okay,
so there was no steak. It's a shitty steak too.
No.
It's like horse meat.
First of all, they're at Golden Corral. Okay, so strike one there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've eaten there a few times in my life, but you're really going to get in a fight over some Golden Corral steak? I don't think I'm going there.
I've been to Golden Corral back in the day.
Yep.
My eating days.
Yep.
And there's nothing there that I'd fight over.
No, exactly. So,
but I get when.
So you
I
never
get the orneriness.
So you don't know what caused it. Okay, it says more than 40 people may have been involved in a brawl at Golden Corral in Pennsylvania, police say. The fight allegedly broke out after a customer became enraged when the buffet ran out of steak. God damn it, I paid my $8.
Right.
It says unlimited, bitch. Right. Better get some more fucking steak out here.
Right. Or someone's going to die.
Let's watch this and see what happens.
They are punching. Oh, chairs.
With eyewitness news shows punches being thrown and high chairs flying.
Look at that.
As a fight breaks
freaking
out
high chairs overhead.
Ben Salem Friday evening. Ben Salem police confirmed the brawl may have involved more than 40 people and happened following an argument among some customers, but officers didn't know what sparked
I like the chick in the
argument.
back just randomly
JK
throwing stuff.
Hospitality, the Golden Corral franchise wrote in a statement, thankfully, no serious injuries have been reported. The safety of our guests and coworkers is our top priority. But a former employee says his friend who works at the restaurant was hurt.
My friend, she's in the video, trying to break it up, and she told me she got hit by a table and her ankle got bruised up pretty bad. And, yeah, it's scary stuff.
Scary
there
stuff.
There were 2 parties in line waiting for steaks.
Look at that. They're
cut in front and then started
freaking picking up tables.
Finicky about the steaks and taking too long.
Oh my God.
Spoke up and said something I guess the other party didn't like, and then it just looks like it turned into an all-out brawl.
So
the steaks were taking too long.
The steaks were no. The steaks. The person in he said the person in the front of the line was being too picky, picking through them, and someone behind it said that you're taking too long.
Just
pick one and get the hell out.
Grab one, bitch.
I feel the same way when I have been to Pizza Ranch and people sort through the chicken.
Oh yeah,
just make a selection.
Yeah, just grab one.
Fucking go.
How funny is that though?
There's got to be more legs down here.
Golden Corral. They're pretty spry for a bunch of fatties, though.
Because it's food.
Yeah, pretty spry. I mean, that really got them up and going, didn't it? I mean, they had high chairs, tables overhead. So, there's some strength in that group there.
Here's how it actually happened. Somebody was in line, and they ran out of chicken or steak. Or the steaks, the person in the front was taking too long, and someone in the behind was like, I just want a steak. Just pick one and move. The line's not moving. Move your ass. Yeah. And then the person in line went and turned back around.
Yeah.
And then someone in the crowd sitting at their table goes, Why don't you just shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
And then it had nothing to do with food after that.
This was not steak. This was, you're being an asshole.
Yep.
No, I'm not. Fuck you.
Yep.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yes.
It could have been, well, but I'll guarantee that what no one's ever said started a fight over them running out of kale, though.
Nope. Or ice cream.
I guarantee that's not
kidding.
happening. God damn it, you out of kale? Fuck. Time to throw some shit.
Just kidding about the ice cream.
Yeah. I think
I'd
that's,
be less surprised if it was ice cream, actually.
well, right. Exactly. Yeah. That'll cause people to go ape shit. So, watch another reason to stay away from Golden Corral there. If I know you weren't planning on going there tomorrow, but do we have one here in town?
They closed.
Oh, that's right.
It's
There
a
was one though,
veterinary-
wasn't
It's
there?
a veterinarian clinic now.
Speaking of
Meat and veterinary.
Speaking of, no, it was a perfect circle.
Right.
No supply chain issues.
Like, where's he going?
You know what I remember though, and I don't know if this is our listener in Amsterdam is probably not going to get this, but remember the Royal Fork?
Oh, yeah. Love the Royal Fork.
Oh yeah, that was over by Whitman's
You know,
on the village.
when I used to fancy myself an eater, I used to go
fancy like
specifically pick a buffet if they had milk.
oh
All you can drink milk.
yeah,
Ice cold out of that
out of the
little
thing like
metal bin. Yeah.
out of the school thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, yep.
And then just like a splash of chocolate.
Royal Fork, baby. I think they had that.
Oh, they had milk. You know who else did too? Is the China Buffet on Broadway.
Oh yes, right.
They had milk. That was ice cold too.
God damn it, you're making me hungry now.
Nothing better than ice cold milk and cream cheese wontons.
Yep. Oh hell yeah. I'd start a fight over those things. Start throwing some damn high chairs around.
Some of the what the hell are they called? The little meat dumplings,
Oh
and you dip them in the soy sauce.
yeah, they're just the dumplings.
Oh.
Oh god, those are good.
Yeah.
They still have those at Snapdragon down in South Moorhead.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They have
It's
good
shit.
ones too. Mel and Emmy would drag me there once in a while, and I would just get one plate.
Oh god,
But-
that's some discipline
It is.
at that place.
Yep.
Because number one, you're not getting your money's worth
No.
because you just paid $14.99
Right,
for one
a
plate.
Yep.
Yeah, and because
But
they're
that's
counting on
the-
the fatties going through.
Right. So it's me and the other people who didn't gorge are the ones. It's like life insurance actuary tables.
You're the ones that make them a profit.
Right.
Yeah. Remember that comedian dude that died? You've been here for an hour. You go now.
yeah.
You've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
You eat like killer whale.
He's dead.
I forget who that was.
Yeah, John something. All right. Well, here's a question that came up, and we've covered this before, but it bears repeating because I do hear it a lot from people when they're anecdotally talking about what they want to change on their bodies.
I just
And
want to tone up.
inevitably,
Right here.
right, inevitably people go doing right here. I want this gone. You know, they're kind of doing this whole thing like Chris
Yeah.
Farley when he's got the.
Right.
It doesn't hurt here or here, but kind of right in here when you get hit with a 2x4 or whatever, and it's all red. So yeah, they're like this area, not here, not right in there.
And then nature's way of just being, and Mother Nature being a bitch. That's what you want is the last thing to go.
yeah, right.
like chicks and their butt and their thighs.
Yeah.
I just want to lose it, but my thighs and my butt. My top's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
no,
That's gonna go first.
That's
and
gonna
then
go first.
This will
Yeah,
be last.
You're gonna look like you're sick up top,
Yep.
and thin and lean and have abs, and you're
Mm-hmm.
still gonna look like Grimace.
Exactly. So yeah. So the question here is: I hold weight in my midsection. Can I spot reduce belly fat? Well, we all know the answer to this, but it bears repeating. So, what they say is the short answer is no. We knew that already. And but the interesting thing is what they reference the method of getting rid of the fat is. It's almost it's mostly diet, right? So what they say is there's no magic moves you can perform to reduce weight in one specific area. There are some things you can do to focus that will help you lose belly fat over time. I recommend focusing on weight loss in general, knowing that overall weight loss will also lead to losing weight in the midsection. Well, that's the only thing that will.
Wish they'd change it to fat loss.
Right. Oh, yes, exactly. Because weight. Yeah, you You don't want to be dropping muscle.
Nope.
Keep the muscle.
Weight is not the goal.
Right. Yep. The scale moving is almost irrelevant. It'll typically trend down, but it shouldn't be the focus. So this sentence is very important. It's important to note that it's impossible to talk about weight loss without addressing diet. See, taking inventory of what you're eating and replacing foods that provide empty calories like processed carbs and sugars with whole foods has helped many of my clients reduce bloat and shed extra pounds. So that's where they start. You know, it's not like do the crunches, do this, get the ab roll, or get, you know, they're not, because that was the prevailing wisdom was, well, I got to want to get strong, you know, reveal these muscles here. The more crunches I do, the quicker I'll see them.
See, and part of the misnomer is that as you build those ab muscles, as those start to hypertrophy,
Right.
they will become visible.
Right.
So people think that if I'm doing crunches, I'm getting rid of the fat in the midsection, so now you can see my abs.
Right.
Whereas no, your muscle's just growing.
Yeah.
And it's becoming, it's protruding.
Yep.
And it looks like, see, I'm losing my fat.
Right.
You're not. You're still fat.
Exactly. That's why they got the calipers and
Right.
you know, because you got to see what that layer is on top there.
It's like the I don't know why I just thought of this, but the old T-Nation meme where it says skinny abs on a skinny guy are like big arms on a fat guy. It doesn't count.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Or no, the other one that is
Yeah, there's plenty of guys with visible abs that have no muscle.
right.
I mean, there's
Absolutely.
and it's funny because
Like Nikki Sixx.
well,
like those old
no, yeah,
80s
like Tommy
hair-
Lee, yeah, like
Yeah.
the old heroin,
Yeah.
heroin chic
Yep.
80s dudes because
Yeah.
they were just doing heroin and coke all day
Right.
and never ever touched a weight.
Or
They were skinny as hell,
or food.
right? They were skinny as hell, but they had no muscles. I mean, their arms are just freaking
Oh,
long and
yeah,
lean.
absolutely.
Well, like another guy, that new guy that played actually Tommy Lee in The Dirt on Netflix, Machine Gun Kelly.
That's who played Tommy Lee.
Yeah, that rapper dude.
I thought it was Chuck.
No, it was Machine Gun Kelly.
I didn't know.
Actually,
that.
let's look up. Let's look up.
But the other meme I thought of that is out there that's super inappropriate and sexist. But I'm just doing it for accuracy's sake because we're that's what we're into on this show.
Oops.
Is yeah, you got to
Good
be
thing
careful.
good thing that's not showing right
Yeah,
now.
you have to be careful. You have to pre-screen them. But the whole
I can't even.
no,
I typed Tommy Lee topless, and we got a big picture of a schlong, which I won't bring up. Okay, but here's one that's safe.
there you go. But
Okay, so there's Tommy Lee. You know, I mean, I've seen worse looking dudes, right?
he's wearing makeup, so it's you're confused.
But he's just lean, you know?
Right.
He's not
Yeah, he's not muscular.
muscular. Now let's pull up Machine Gun Kelly here.
The yeah, you got to be careful with that one too. You might want to take the screen share off. You never know with him either.
See if I can just type shirtless. See if we get dinged here. Okay. Wow. He's so tatted too that you can't even
Right.
barely tell what's going on.
Right. Yeah, he's yeah.
Same build though,
Yep.
right? I mean, just long and lean, not much muscle going on, but no fat,
Right.
you know? So that's what we're looking at. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's fine. We're really rabbit holing here. Yeah. But the other meme that was sexist and not very nice, but still makes me chuckle a little bit, is it says abs on a skinny guy are like big tits on a fat girl. They don't count.
As long as we're saying horrific things.
Ugh. Can it get worse?
I can't remember where I heard this, but back in the day, we used to, somebody who was like cursed by God was a really overweight gal that had no tits.
Oh.
And we called that a flatzo.
Oh, no.
And that's,
I'm gonna move over so I don't want any
You don't get any on you?
residual. I don't want any residual lightning bolt when you get
I know.
when you get smited.
Well, it's not. I'm the one that didn't. I didn't smite them. It's those damn genetics or whatever. But yeah, exactly. So yeah, we really went deep there, didn't we? So yeah, bottom line, Tommy Lee didn't do crunches to get this body. This is all diet and drugs.
And don't Google image search Tommy Lee shirtless.
No.
If you're truly looking to see his physique, you're gonna have to scroll through some things.
Well, we've all seen the video, or
Yeah.
the Pamela Anderson.
Yep.
Speaking of that, there's just on Hulu last night debuted a show called Pam and Tommy that's all
Yeah.
about that scandal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all about their sex tape getting released and being the first
Accidentally
massively viral.
being released.
Viral. Well, I think it might have been because it was some contractor that hated them or was pissed off and
Oh.
stole it out of their safe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like he literally tried to stop it and tried to sue everybody and whatever, but they just couldn't do it. So, but then they thought, okay, once it's out there and bazillions of people are seeing it and it's generating bazillions of dollars, then they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they got rich off it or whatever, but it definitely sparked the Kim Kardashian method of getting famous, though, because then that's how she,
Right.
that was her claim to fame. So, were we talking about fitness and diet?
Reggie Bush, right? Wasn't it?
No,
Who was
she did
with?
date him. No, it was Ray J.
Oh, yeah.
Ray J was in the video.
Okay.
Not that I've seen it,
Sure.
because that would if I did, it was just for research.
Right. Right. Because you got to know.
You got to know what's going on.
We have to be
Yeah,
accurate.
I mean, it's 10 years before this podcast, but I just had to know what was going on in the fitness world.
Right. And
You
we
understand?
we pride ourselves on accuracy.
I got to close this tab before I accidentally click on it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, Tommy Lee and Machine Gun Kelly, both very lean, and they both don't do any crunches, I'm guessing. That's all diet and lifestyle related.
What were we even talking about?
We're talking about spot reducing belly fat.
Yeah.
So, bottom line is you can't spot reduce belly fat. You got to do heroin, cocaine, and get in an 80s rock band. That's one way to guarantee to have abs.
And you know what else? From a nutritional standpoint,
He's fasting.
All those guys are still alive,
I said that, which is insane.
right?
Yeah. Nikki Sixx, well, he was dead once
Right.
in 1986 for a couple hours.
Really. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Woke up in the hospital like with the needle still in his arm, I think. Yeah.
So
Crazy
There's
story.
something to be said there for longevity and not being obese.
What I'd like to know is, I mean, obviously we know these guys are doing all kinds of drugs and drinking and stuff, but did they eat food? Like when they're in the heyday of the 80s, were they eating food? Probably not much. So fasting was probably helping them out,
Right. Yeah.
which is kind of crazy, counteracting a little bit of that
Well,
craziness
yeah, they
going on.
probably just had. Well, you were, on the road like that. Gas station food. And
Yeah. Except we didn't do any of the drugs, so
sure.
we actually did
Sure you
eat.
didn't. Right.
All right. So here's the thing: I didn't know what it was. Gerd. You called it Gerd. I called it GERD because that's how literally ignorant I am of this.
Mm-hmm.
But people refer to it as Gerd.
Mm-hmm.
So let's define this for the peeps: gastroesophageal reflux disease. Now, I've heard of acid reflux. Now, when people just say acid reflux, is this what they mean, or is this like the more chronic,
It's
the chronic version of that?
It's when you've had it chronically, and now you have damage.
Okay. I'll just read this paragraph here. Gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD, occurs when stomach acid frequently flows back into the tube connecting your mouth and stomach, the esophagus. This backwash, known as acid reflux, can irritate the lining of your esophagus, which makes sense because the acid in your stomach is designed to break down that food. So it's a destructive force.
Right.
It's designed to break down tissue. So if you're exposing that to tissues in your body that aren't designed to handle it, obviously the stomach lining must be crazy, right?
Right.
If it can handle all this crazy acid that's breaking down other meats and tissues of animals and stuff. It's strong enough to break that down, but not the
Lining.
tissue that the lining's made of. Isn't nature crazy?
Except when you get
It's kind of freaking amazing.
Except when you get leaky gut.
Right. So, speaking of being in the band and being on the road, I remember our drummer, who was our singer at the time. We used to, and this is how dumb we were. We had no knowledge of this stuff. He would have problems with his voice all the time because of acid reflux. Okay?
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because it
would
gets
hurt.
in the larynx.
Yeah.
And the vocal cords, and it's irritating those.
For sure.
But you know what we used to do? We'd finish a gig, get done at 1 a.m, go back to our hotel room, and we had one of those square like plug-in pans. We'd make a big thing of hamburger helper, right? Mix it up, slice it in half. We'd each get a plate. We'd each get half of a full thing of hamburger helper. Literally put the fork down, put the plate down. Well, see you in the morning. Lay down and right to sleep 30 seconds after we gobbled the last bite.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And then you wonder why you have acid reflux problems.
Right. Yeah. Stomach
I mean, he was
food and
eat a huge pile of the worst food ever, and your stomach's going, oh, shit, I gotta work on this all night while you're laying flat on your back.
you'd be better off just sleep. Just go to bed.
Just,
Have the hamburger help.
oh,
when you
yeah.
woke
Well, we
up.
didn't, I mean, he looked like Tommy Lee. He's super skinny dude, still is. So there was no concern about overeating. We were
Right.
all in our 20s, and it didn't
Right.
matter. But he had vocal problems as a result. And I know that factored in because we played 6 nights a week back then. So, you're eating and then laying down to sleep every night. The stomach acid is coming up the esophagus. And you're having this acid reflux right into your larynx every freaking night. And it's so bad. And eventually he had to go to an ear, nose, and throat guy and try to diagnose this, figure it all out, get on a prescription. But really, it's all things you can, and what he eventually did was, change with diet and just your habits. So that's my personal, I've never had this problem. When I eat, mostly carnivore and not eating late at night, I don't have any of this.
Oh, for
this
sure.
problem. So I think that,
I hate going to bed hungry, but that's when I sleep the best.
yeah, because I think you can, laying down right after when your stomach is still working is just a horrible idea. So to define this, it says many people experience acid reflux from time to time. That's kind of my thing. GERD is mild acid reflux that occurs at least twice a week, or moderate to severe acid reflux that occurs at least once a week. So if it's happening weekly to you, then you might have some version of this. Most people can manage the discomfort of GERD with lifestyle changes and over-the-counter medication. See, my goal is always to never have to use those.
Right.
If there's a way to do it by just changing the timing of your eating or eat different things, then that's the route I'm always going to take. Because I don't want to get on a thing where I have to start a regimen of something.
Right.
That's just my outlook for all of this stuff is don't get another freaking thing added on.
Right.
Like I take literally no pills right now of any kind. Don't take any injections of any kind.
I do vitamin D and B and T and I do lots.
But
of
you're
shit.
supplementing.
Right.
That's not to stop, to fix a problem.
Right.
You're trying to prevent something. That's different. So, if you can manage this with lifestyle or eating different things, that's the way to do it, in my opinion. So, common signs and symptoms of GERD include a burning sensation in your chest, heartburn, usually after eating, which might be worse at night, especially if you just ate half a hamburger helper and laid down 5
With
seconds
half a
later.
shaker of salt.
Yeah. Chest pain, difficulty swallowing, regurgitation of food or sour liquid, sensation of a lump in your throat. Another time or a reason I think this occurs is when you overeat. Because if I eat the
You're
prescribed amount
Right.
of things, I mean, there's a capacity thing too, where if your stomach's literally like, full,
Right.
I mean, it makes sense that it's going to start leaking back up or be more likely to. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but
No.
right? Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If you have nighttime acid reflux, you might also experience chronic cough, laryngitis. See, there's what my buddy had right on because your vocal cords are right at the top. So it's just, it's not good. A new or worsening asthma or disrupted sleep. Oh yeah. Big time there. So let's see what they say about the fixes for this. Okay, cause, Gerd, we have this factor, complications, blah, blah, blah. Where does it say how to fix it?
Pfizer.
Right. Well, and then I went down the rabbit hole of how do you prevent this from eating different diets, right? So, here's some more questions on Gerd before we get into that.
It's almost, I don't know, maybe not. I had it really bad when I used to chew.
Oh.
I chewed for years. And I'm like,
Just because that
I
chew
ate it.
juice is going
Yep.
down there, and
Yep.
your stomach's going, what the fuck is this shit?
yep. I'm like 8 years.
This isn't food.
I'm like 8 years removed, and I don't think I've had heartburn since.
But you had it pretty regular.
All the time.
Really?
Yep.
It makes sense because that's some horrible shit going down your esophagus. Now, here's where we get into the you never know who to trust bullshit, right? Like what's causing it, how to
Right.
fix it, right? And I'm going to show you two examples of that are completely contradictory here in a minute. So here's what one doctor says: the following food diet are essential if you must not be English. Food diet are essential. Oh, yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? English wise. Okay, anyways. If you're diagnosed with GERD, low cholesterol proteins, beans, lentils, and lean poultry, green and fresh vegetables, eggs, food rich in vitamin C, fruits and vegetables, and carbohydrates present in fruits, vegetables, potatoes, and whole grains. So he's saying concentrate on those foods if you want to try to fix it. This next doctor says whole grains, fruits, vegetables, lean meats, healthy fats, herbal teas, etc. can make a proper diet for GERD, a gastroesophageal reflux disease. Diet is an important part of the treatment for both occasional heartburn and GERD. Now, this doctor says if you have GERD, follow the following diet. Number 1, vegetables are low in fat and sugar by nature, and they help decrease stomach acid. So they're he's blaming the fat and sugar. Number 2, ginger contains anti-inflammatory effects and can be used to treat heartburn and other gastrointestinal issues. I don't know. See, when I hear stuff like eat ginger, I just go, is that really going to fix it? Oatmeal, popular morning cereal, a whole grain and a good source of fiber. Fruits that are not citrus. That kind of makes sense because, all the citrusy fruits are real acidic, right?
Yeah. I all of that stuff, and you just brought it up, and that's what I was thinking about just now. All of the stuff where you hear the home remedies or the natural remedies, and I don't mean to be a pill popper or Western medicine, but
Right.
You know what? I've rolled my ankle before, and I took a leave.
Did you fix it with ginger?
No, I didn't eat ginger. I took a leave. I don't get it.
Oh, I thought you meant you took a leave, like a leave of absence.
No, I took a leave.
Right.
A leave in Tylenol.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So,
Some ginger.
and I think all this stuff that they're fucking around with, you'd be better off just don't eat before night. It would solve like 90% of people's problems.
Right.
But now if you have heartburn standing up during the day from lunch, yeah, that's, that's a whole different issue.
Sure.
So now let's get into.
And I think that's who they're talking to.
Right, exactly. So now here's one. Okay, carnivore diet talks about acid reflux. Now, this is where we get into every side makes the claim that their method reduces it, right? Mm-hmm. Guess what carnivore says? Reduce acid reflux. Acid reflux occurs when stomach acid rises into the esophagus, causing irritation, which can lead to complaints such as heartburn. Surprisingly common health complaint in the U.S. Okay. Well, no food type has yet been proven to cure this condition altogether, your dietary choices can help a great deal to reduce or even remove symptoms. That makes a fair amount of sense given the condition starts in your stomach. So it says the carnivore diet has some positive feedback from people suffering from acid reflux, and it's probably due to the low carbohydrate content. Okay, so the carnivores take the stance of carbs are to blame. That's what's causing your acid reflux. If you switch to carnivore, which is basically zero carb or close to it, you're going to get rid of the problem. Now, anecdotally, I can say that's true, but I can't. My guess would be that the thing that would actually be causing any of the heartburns would probably be a couple of the things, and just by eliminating all of them, of course you're going to get it because it's performing its function
Well,
as an elimination diet, right?
You can't. Here's the flux.
But I bet if I ate a bunch of meat and went to sleep, lay down immediately, I'd get heartburn.
Right. And it's anecdotal. You can say,
Exactly.
my cousin, Cindy, with the acne in that picture, she had really bad she had really bad GERD.
Yep.
So she said, I stopped eating everything but meat.
And it went away.
Well, what carbs are you eating? Oh, I like the potatoes.
All of them.
I like potatoes. What'd you put on the potatoes, Cindy?
Right.
Franks.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the
So-
reason it works is because it's the elimination. You're
Right.
eliminating a huge swath.
Right.
And you don't know which of those things.
Right. It wasn't
was.
It wasn't the potatoes. It was the Franks.
Right.
So, or the Tabasco.
Yeah. Or some combination of
Right.
4 different things that
Yeah.
you'll never track down unless you
Eliminated all of them.
freaking get a spreadsheet out and start adding in one element at a time.
Cindy could, yeah. Cindy could go
You know.
just ribeyes for the next 90 days. And then at 90 days, add a cup of potatoes. Do that for a few weeks. Take the potatoes back away. Now add Franks to that steak.
Yep.
If you get heartburn,
Yep. Exactly. And all conditions having be the same. Eat at the same time.
yep.
You know, man, it would be, it's kind of like those allergy things where they stick you with the 40 different,
things.
you know,
can say
and then which one
makes you
bubbles
itch.
up.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what you have to do. So, you know, good luck. Good luck freaking figuring that out. So, but anecdotally, this one jibes with me, but I think it's, you know, I'm not sitting here claiming that it's the meat that cures it. It's just something else was
Right.
causing it. And also doing my OMAD, meaning once it's supper,
Are you still doing that?
yeah. Yep. Well, off and on, but yeah, I'm back on it for a few weeks. Just because I'm just naturally not, when I'm eating like a bunch of meat, I'm naturally just not even hungry really. So,
I can't. I've been.
but you burn way more calories than me. So your body's like, come on, dude, we're on empty here.
Yeah, yesterday.
Here, let's.
No, you Rain Man. I'm gonna find yesterday's
So
calories.
here's the vegan perspective. How to fight GERD with the vegan diet.
Dude, I was just gonna say you could take that and put that carnivore one into a
Exactly.
Word document, and then just do the find replace thing on
Carnivore
with
with
Word.
meat with vegan. Exactly. That's my whole point. So, you know, just again with my diet cures everything. Okay. So again, it talks about, this is from a vegan site here. Here's how eating a well-balanced vegan diet can help relieve acid reflux symptoms. So, you know, you're sitting out there, your Joe Cubicle, you're like, what the hell am I supposed to eat, bro? Carnivores say it cures the GERD. Vegans say it cures the GERD. So it goes into what is GERD. Okay, now here's what vegan claims are the main culprits. It says there aren't always definitive answers about why GERD occurs. It could be partially related to a condition known as a hiatal hernia, which is the upper part of the stomach protrudes through the opening of your diaphragm. See, now that's not going to matter what your diet is.
Right.
That's just a physical
Sounds like bad luck.
Dysformity, yeah, exactly. It says the food you eat, as well as environmental factors such as drinking and smoking, can definitely contribute to GERD. These foods include chocolate, carbonated beverages, alcoholic beverages, high-fat dairy, and meat. See, they're throwing the meat, boom, right in the frickin' crosshairs. Citrus fruits, tomatoes, and oils.
Well, but the last article threw the carbohydrates right in the crosshair.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They pick whatever they don't like, whatever their diet says is bad, and they go, "Ugh, that causes the acne, the GERD, the arthritis, you know, all that stuff causes the bad things.
Right.
And the things you choose to eat cause all the good things."
Yep.
So again, we're left to good luck. Roll some dice, bro. You got to see what works for you.
Well, and that's the thing. If it's it's individualistic. The vegan one might work for somebody.
It might cure the GERD, but I mean, you're just going to be a sickly mess most of the time. So, you know, for all the other reasons, I got to eat the meats. But, you know, I'm sure, you know, if I went on this site and accidentally read all these articles, they would talk about all the things that it cures, just like the carnivore one cures the acne and everything else.
Right.
So, you know, just kind of an illustration about how this stuff typically plays out, which is you're left to fend for yourself and go with your gut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's
Right.
just no,
Literally.
yeah, exactly. There's just no definitive answers anywhere. But what sucks is, okay, so then, you're getting all this contradictory information. But then we're over here, and funny, you sent me this today. Okay. So this kind of ties in. Now, for the audio listeners, there's a picture of a dude from Game of Thrones, a big fat, that's King, I forget his name, the king that dies.
John, no.
On the hunt or whatever. Anyways, from Game of Thrones, an old fat king.
Yeah.
And the doctor says, most of your medical issues could be solved with a healthy diet and exercise. Then it said me, but then you crossed it out and you wrote society, and it says, give me something for the pain and let me die. Right. So, we're trying to encourage people to solve these issues with dietary changes and lifestyle changes, not go right for the pill.
Right.
But then you try to do that, and it's like, eat all the meats, none of this shit. And then it's eat all the plants and none of that meat. It's the contradictory viewpoints again. So you're like, fuck it, just give me the Prilosec.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you're on the Prilosec prescription. And my buddy, who, skinny dude who had the acid reflux from eating the hamburger helper and going right to sleep, he's been on 87 different kinds of freaking whatever that, all those different kinds of prescription acid reflux pills, over the years, like nasal stuff, pills, went in and been scoped a bunch of times.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, it was because he makes his living singing.
Right.
So it was a big deal.
Right.
It's like Tom Brady, if your knee gets screwed up, you got to get in there and figure that shit out. So, we're sitting here telling him to avoid the pills and solve it with diet and exercise, and it's all contradictory. So it's like, how do you get there? So you can't really blame people when they end up like going, just give me the pill and let me die. Mm-hmm. It's takes a ton of dedication, willpower, and perseverance to end up as healthy as Dewey.
How about if people? What if we told people no? No,
What do you mean?
You're not getting anything for the pain.
You mean like you don't get the Prilosec?
You made your bed.
No Prilosec for you.
Right.
I don't know. Well, but how did they make their bed though? What did they disregard? Which advice? That's what I'm saying. There's no definitive follow ABC, and there's no consensus on everybody says do this, and that's the right thing. Riddle me that, Joker.
I don't think so. I think see, you're deciding between the two articles, the carnivore and
Well,
the
I'm
vegan.
just using that as an extreme example.
You're saying who's right. I'm saying what if both are right and nobody's wrong? And it's just the overconsumption of energy in the form of processed foods. And that's why either diet ends up getting rid of GERD.
I think you nailed it. You need to type that article up.
Copy and paste both of them next to it and send it to the authors.
Yeah. Right. No, I think you're totally right. Like overall, all of these issues would be solved by just eating a lot less of whatever it is. Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's the problem.
And that's his problem too.
Yeah. But he obviously.
King Philip or that's going to bother me until I
Brian?
get pissed off. No, it's not Brian. Todd.
There's no kings have ever been named Chad. That's never happened. It's not Joffrey because that was a little asshole that finally got poisoned.
Yeah. Ooh,
Deservedly.
Spoiler alert.
Oh shit! Sorry, the show's been out for 10 years, but
Everybody will like that. My favorite line of the entire series was when Ramsay Bolton
that dude was dark.
As Reek.
He
called him Reek, and he had him tied up.
That shit was dark.
And he started saying something about, no, just let me go. And then Ramsay Bolton goes, if you think this story has a happy ending, you have not been paying attention.
That guy was dark.
Goosebumps.
Man.
Oh, he was ruthless.
Yeah, brutal. All right, so we solved that, didn't we?
Joseph.
We solved no. Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up now, right?
Philip. King. Robert. Damn it.
Robert. That's it. Yep. Okay. The Google machine helped us find it. All right. So now we're going to get into this bicep curl form talk because I've been thinking about it every time I do my stuff now. I'm super conscious now of because, especially as you're going up in weight.
I have goals to be ripped enough to be able to shave my forearms, but won't. Is that weird?
Well, it's kind of
I won't, though.
it's more of a 70s manly dude thing to leave him hairy.
See, what I have, you're like me. We have an
Yeah, we're
advantage where
hairy
it's
as
not
hell.
dark,
But
you can't see it.
oh, you can see, I mean, mine are pretty.
Yeah, but yours are light like mine. So, and like my chest hair, too, I don't need to shave if I got, like, bodybuilder buff and wanted to show off my
It'll still
muscles.
show through. You won't need to wax at all.
I don't look like Steve Carell and a 40-year-old virgin.
Oh, yeah. He's got a freaking, like, carpet on.
Right.
Yeah.
He's wearing a fur coat.
I do love that bicep vein, though.
Oh, I get that when I'm done. Like, if we have, like, 1,000,000 pull-ups at CrossFit,
Right.
I get the vein going, like, right here.
Speaking of, I got up to 29 chin-ups today.
Whoa.
Added another one.
That's pretty good.
29.
30 is legit. If you can get to 30, that's a big number.
That's my next goal. What is it, February 4th right now?
Yep.
I think by March 1st I can get to 30 every morning. All right, so let's watch a little bit of this.
Men's Health, for all the crazy new exercises out there, if you want big biceps, the key to that is still the old school dumbbell biceps curl. Not everybody does it right though. We're gonna show you how to get the most out of that move right now.
Form check. Bicep
So before
curl.
we even go into the biceps curl, we want to go over clean posture so that you can get the most out of the move again. You want to keep your shoulders back, really try to squeeze your shoulder blades in that position. You're squeezing.
See, that's something I never think about.
You got to set your scaps back. Yeah.
I never think about that. But this next one he says, I think about all the time.
Your glutes as well, and you're really squeezing your abs. You don't want your rib cage flared like this, like you see here. You really want to use those abs and pull everything down. Keep it all tight. That posture is critical because that's going to give your tendons
I just
room to
instinctively
work,
did that.
and it's going to help prevent
So
any
I don't know,
biceps injuries,
right,
any shoulder injuries
how I
if you're
stumbled
working
on
that
that,
way. Now that you have your posture down, we're going to start to master the curl. The key thing I want you to pay attention to as you're curling is you want to keep this upper arm as close to perpendicular with the ground as possible. That means locking in this lat, really keeping that tight, and you're going to curl up, only moving at one level.
back.
You're going to see a lot of guys in the gym, and they're going to curl forward like that. We don't want to involve our shoulders.
Yeah, because if you're moving the elbow, then you
push it
remove
up.
the bicep
Yeah.
from the equation. And
Yep.
if you want to only activate the bicep, you have to just have it activate the elbow joint. But if you're moving the elbow, then you're cheating the bicep a ton.
Here's a hack I use all the time. It's mainly with women. But if I go,
But it'll work on me. Close enough.
I hope not, because you've been doing curls. Otherwise, we're in trouble. We can start over. But I always say, flex for me. Flex your bicep. And they're like, I can't.
Whoa.
Like they don't have that
They don't feel it?
that mind muscle connection. They don't have it.
Even for bicep?
Yep.
Because, man, that's one that I thought everybody would
For
have.
dudes,
Oh, okay.
do you have mind muscle connection with your glutes, your hamstrings? I mean, can you really get like,
Nope, it's all taint.
and you just shit yourself?
It's all Kegels.
But yeah, if you can't mentally have a mind muscle connection between your brain and the actual muscle you're trying to work, you're going to incorporate all sorts of
Yeah, because then you just
Shoulder
whatever it
and-
takes to get the weight up.
yeah.
You're just going to do it.
Yep.
Rather than actually contracting this strip right here.
Right.
Yeah. And believe me, when I started doing curls, it was like whatever it took,
Yep.
Frickin'
Right. Oh yeah.
Turning in circles,
Yeah.
Just
Richard Simmons.
But now it's like I'm only cheating myself.
Yep.
I mean, all you're doing is wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, you're working out,
oh yeah, but
you're not
as effective.
bodybuilding.
And it's not nearly as effective.
Right.
It's
If you're
gonna take-
if you're trying to create hypertrophy for aesthetics, you're cheating yourself.
Right. Exactly. Well, and for whatever reason, like even for strength, because
Well, you'd still get strong if you're holding enough weight.
but not
Not the right
not as quick though, right?
Well, not the right spots.
Right.
Like you're going to have a really good shoulder. But the problem is, like he says, most people don't put their shoulders back and down and set those scaps and use their lower and upper trap.
Right.
So they'll probably get hurt before anything.
Right.
Shoulder, so we're going to try to take out that rock as much as possible. What you also don't want to do, and you're going to see a lot of guys do this, they're going to pick up really heavy dumbbells, they're going to rock back, and they're going to rock forward. That's not helping us either. This is not a waist exercise. Again, it's a bicep exercise.
That's why
that's where keeping all that posture we talked about, keeping those glutes squeezed, keeping your rib cage down, all of that is going to come in. If you're struggling with any of that, one of the easiest ways to clean it up, get on your knees.
Oh,
the moment
that's
you're
a
on
good
your
hack.
knees,
I didn't think about
cut
that.
out a lever, it's going to be that much harder to rock. It's going to make your biceps curls that much more perfect, and it's actually going to train your posture while you're there too.
Yep.
That's good.
We're going to talk about rotating that dumbbell now.
I do.
And we're going to curl
I always say
up.
knees for
Note how
shoulder
quickly
work.
I'm trying to turn that dumbbell towards the sky. The moment I'm parallel with the ground, that dumbbell is also parallel with the ground. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be halfway. You really want to be parallel with the ground. One of the functions of your bicep, in addition to curling upwards, is also handling that rotation. The more rotation we can, the harder we're torquing and squeezing that bicep, and the more growth we're gonna get out of it. So you wanna have that rotation happen by the time you're parallel and finish with those dumbbells parallel. Don't finish here, but finish really squeezing that biceps, trying to twist those dumbbells out as far as possible. Then the last key to the bicep curl, lower with control. You again wanna find that parallel position on the bottom and lower down. If you're ever struggling with that parallel position, the easiest way to fix it, just work on it. Hang out there, hang out here, count out 5, 10 seconds. Your cue is when you clear your hips. Feel that, and then start doing your curls, and it'll help reinforce really good form.
And he's doing that.
That's a perfect.
As soon as he clears his hips, he's.
Now here's a good one too, because this guy.
You can do them. They're called hammer curls, where you don't straighten them.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I would say in a well-rounded workout routine, you do all those, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do like the preacher ones where you're completely isolating the bicep because you're like on a board, right? Or just like a preacher board, or the concentration curl. I used to call that back in the day. I remember when I had my grandpa had an old weight set that he used to use on the Burlington Northern box car. It was like old bronze. I don't know what the hell it was, but like some crazy old like 40s weights. And I had them in high school, and they came with like a little sheet that.
Oh, really?
Concentration curl was one of the things. And that was put your elbow in your inside of your leg, and that way it really isolates the bicep.
Yep.
So this one's kind of interesting because he looks at Kevin Hart doing bicep curls and kind of critiques his form.
When it comes to looking at Kevin Hart for how to do moves, these are not things that you should follow.
He's basically saying like, watch out when you follow these movie stars and stuff on Instagram because, you know, they work out a lot, but they may not know what the hell they're doing any more than you.
Right.
So, you know, be careful of where you get your information.
All right. So let's take a look at this. It's a short clip. we're going to run the clip and then we're going to talk about what's wrong with it. All right. So first thing you see right here is he has 70 pounds, 70 pounds of weight. All right. He's doing typical bicep barbell curl. And what you notice he's doing is he's doing one a little hump,
he's
is what
doing
I call our swinging
push.
motion.
Yep.
So when he does the swinging motion,
give himself a cheat.
he gets most of his energy from the swinging motion, not contract.
See, the thing is, though, if you're Kevin Hart, your ego is off the charts, right? And you know you're getting filmed, so you're not going to go down on weight.
And he's got little man syndrome to begin with.
Because he's like 5'5" or something.
Right.
So he's like, I got to do big weights because he's in movies with The Rock and shit.
Right.
You know, so he's got to, he can't be lifting little, 20 pounders or whatever. He's got to try to do as much as he can, but because it's probably more than he should be doing, he's kipping it.
Contracting the bicep, okay? Now you have to understand, contraction is what causes the muscle to move an extremity or any other part of your body. The muscle has to contract to move that. Muscles don't push out, okay? So muscles don't exert force by pushing out. They only exert force by contracting to move a limb. So the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to have an antagonist muscle group. And I said we weren't going to get too deep in terminology, but this is not too deep. We're kind of going at 5 foot of water. So in order to bring this arm or this forearm piece down, what happens is I have an antagonist, and that's going to be my tricep, all right? My tricep is going to contract to bring that arm back into this position. In order to bring it in the upward position, my bicep will
tricep.
contract. My antagonist, which is my tricep, will extend. All right, so that's what we're gonna put in there just for you to get a little bit of the concept of what's going on in this move. So what you see is Kevin Hart doing the swing where he's getting most of his force from. By the time he gets the swing in, his arms are all.
But I guarantee if you ask him, he thinks he's not doing it at all because it's just a little, right? But if you see it, when you see it on video, it's obvious to us and to this guy. But I bet if you asked him, he's like, no, I'm not swinging at all.
That.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't know until you're up against the wall.
Up against the wall or video yourself.
Or video, yeah. Because I bet he does not feel that at all.
Already up here, which you see his elbow move past his waistline, past this center line, and starts moving upward. Then when he gets about right here, he moves inward. You see his elbow go back and his body get close.
Right.
He never straightens his arm.
So you're not just contracting. It's all this swing of the elbow that's getting you that cheating. You're cheating
you're
it.
pushing it up with your traps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're not
He
isolating.
never, watch Kevin Hart's arms. He never straightens his arm.
Right.
Through the entire
Well,
rep.
yeah, and that's what this guy says is you need to go all the way down because that's so you get that full range of motion and the full contraction on the bicep.
Which gives you the illusion that he's done a correct bicep curl. Not in this case, all right? I've just pointed out everything to you about why he did not do a correct bicep curl.
All right, so that's a good one. I'll post all these videos in the show notes so people can watch them at their leisure. Now, this one really sums it up. It's 22 seconds long, okay? So let's watch this one here.
If you want to build bigger arms as effectively as possible, don't do your curls like this.
Same as
Keeping a
Kevin
bend
Hart.
in your elbows and then swinging the weight forward with your shoulders might help you lift more weight, but it's not ideal for stimulating biceps growth. Lighten the weight up slightly, keep your arms mostly straight at the bottom of each rep, and focus on maximizing elbow flexion, which is the primary function of the biceps.
Even he still
was a
lifting his
smidge
arms.
though, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This.
And that might have been
Keeping
just
a bend
muscle
in your-
memory timing from him doing it the wrong way.
But just the fact of going all the way down, I'm going to try that because I have my pull workout tonight. I'm going to try that and be super, super aware.
Because he went like this, and then he went.
Yep.
He did to
Right.
get it all the way up.
Yeah. But I think like the starting position or making sure you go all the way down to fully extended, that's going to burn that muscle so much more.
You know why this works the best, and this is what I do, is like stand up. So, and I get what's called the pulley machine, like the pull down machine.
Like this, the one where you do
Yep. And I put it all the way down to the floor.
Okay.
And then I grab the single handle.
Okay.
And it's behind me.
Right.
And then I pull it tight, and then I just.
Okay. So, right. Yeah.
And it's constant tension.
Right.
And you have nothing. You can't really. It's harder to cheat.
Yeah, right.
And
Because you can't swing it
and
because
it's
that's
like,
not going to do any
right.
good.
And it's like a rubber band too. So it's constant tension, but it's not like the drag on your wrist and your
Right,
forearm. So rubber bands or
The pulley.
pulley machine are
Yep.
the best for biceps.
Yeah, I saw when I was at a hotel one time, they had one of those big things that looks like freaking NASA designed it. It has like 87 different exercises built in with pulleys and weight stacks and everything.
Yep.
And there was an attachment where you could put the handle on and it was a pulley like at your feet. So you could do that.
Yep.
And I did that a few times. And then there was a pull down one too. But yeah, that pulley up, like you said, it's constant tension
And so
you
is a
can't
dumbbell,
swing it because
but-
it's not
right.
You're not swinging this weight. You don't have that advantage of swinging that weight
Right.
around if it's on a pulley because the weight stack's over there. It doesn't care if you're
But
swinging.
when you're face away from it, if you go like this, you're gonna pull that pulley cord like against your arm or around the side.
right. So it helps
So
you.
you have to just go like
Right.
this.
Makes sense. Yeah, because it's preventing you from even cheating on that form.
Yeah, because the cord will come straight up and be straight down here. But if you go like this, the cord just stops you. It's kind of a cue.
Yeah. All right. We solved it. I'm going to try it tonight. I'm going to try the on your knees to see if that stops me from swinging or doing the hip
will.
thrust. Because I guarantee that, and maybe I'll video myself tonight just to see if I'm, if I think
it.
I'm not doing it, and then
Do it just right out of the gate.
right, so I'm not tired.
Right,
So I can
not
have
tired, but
better
also
form.
not like. Because you're going to be in your natural habitat.
Yep.
And then you're going to just start working out and you're going to not think about
forget
it as much.
Yeah.
But do that first and then use the same weight and go to your knees and then use the same weight and go against the wall.
Yeah, I'll video myself like I normally do it.
Yep.
See how that looks compared to knees or wall to see if it's
Even knees, you're going to we will visibly see you on video go, these ain't the same dumbbells.
like who switched these?
Right. These are 10 pounds heavier.
Right. Well, yeah, because if you can't get any, and I try. See, the thing is, I am aware of that because you've been haunting me about it for months. So I think I'm aware of it, but I bet I'm like Kevin Hart.
Right.
I bet I'm doing the pelvic thrust and the swing. And
the other way to get rid of the Kevin Hart's kipping curls with the hips and the pelvic thrust and the lats is just slow down.
Right.
If you try and do it for time and try and race,
and
you're going to naturally start to use other body parts.
The other problem is, I'm so focused on progressive overload,
right,
that I always want to be going up in weight, but don't do it until your form is kick ass,
flawless,
right? Because all you're doing is just cheating yourself if you're going up in weight before you can do it really well. So I guarantee if I, like right now I'm doing with 35s, and that's up. I mean, it'd take me a long time to get from 30s to 35s.
Yep, and 35s. 35s are heavy if you do it right.
It is. But I bet if I do it perfect, I'm going to have to go down to 30s.
Perfect. And yeah, you want to hear another twist that'll fuck with your head is when you're standing there and you're getting ready to do this number, go like this. Do them both at the same time.
As opposed to one at a time?
So much harder.
Really?
Because you don't know you're doing this.
Oh, yeah. Well, right, because you do one at a time, you get that other opposing shoulder to help with the swing. But that's why one thing I do is I use the easy curl bar every other time. So sometimes I do dumbbells one time and then the easy curl. Because easy curl helps prevent that.
For sure.
So,
but you can still, easy curl, you can still Kevin Hart.
You can still do the pelvic thrust, and
Do the easy curl bar against the wall. Fuck me. You're gonna be cursing me.
All right.
That burns.
Okay, that's my assignment. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up there. So I guess we solved all the issues. So
you lost me on the Gerd stuff, but you got me back. You reeled me back in with the bicep stuff.
It's just so frustrating because there's no consensus. There's no good answers. You just have to literally try out a bunch of different crap and see what works. For me, eating a ton of animals and working out in progressive overload that works for me. And
right.
The OMAD and what you're doing is working for you. And
right.
I just look at Dr. McGregor, the vegan, and go, that's not working for him.
You know what's really been working for me for fat loss recently is I've been, just to steal that line from Nick when Nick was on.
Oh, yeah.
I've been just mainlining egg whites.
Right.
Like, how the little carton they come in?
Oh, yeah.
Whole thing.
I don't freaking like those.
Whole thing in one meal.
They're not good.
Whole thing in one meal. All the egg whites.
And you mix in with like the ground turkey and stuff you were saying?
Yep. Well, I put ground turkey in the bowl, put it in there like it's a casserole, and I just microwave 3.5 minutes. And then I take it out and I put it on
that's pure protein.
Pure protein, no fat.
Ground turkey is all protein. The egg whites are all protein.
Right.
It's just,
Yeah, it's, and then what really, either do ground turkey or turkey bacon, because that's good.
Yeah.
Especially in something like that.
Not as good as real bacon, but let's be honest. But
nothing is.
Nothing is, yeah.
But then I top it with like a really low calorie salsa.
Mm. Or even like, that's where I cheat with the hot sauce stuff, like Frank's.
Oh yeah,
that kind of stuff. Sriracha.
But there's a really, really good Kirkland brand, and it comes in a huge jug like this, and it's got the little plastic connector.
Yep.
And it's a ton of salsa, and it's like $4.99 for both of them at Costco.
And it's like pretty low calorie.
Well, so low.
It's all just chopped up vegetables.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You got to watch the ingredients though.
Yeah.
Like Pace and the popular ones, they'll sneak a bunch of sugar in them.
Oh yeah. Because that tastes better to people.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So I get the ones with super, super, super low calories and low sugar and nothing really added. And then I just dump that on there. Mel saw it. it was yesterday or today, and she comes out of the home office and she looks at it and she's like, "Have some eggs with your salsa." And
the problem is you got to get some flavor in there because
Right.
with the egg whites with no yolks, when you take the fat out, a lot of the flavor and enjoyment goes away.
Yep. But
So
the
you-
texture's still good.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Scrambled egg whites, texture-wise,
Yeah.
are no different than scrambled eggs.
But you got to mix them with something.
With turkey.
Yeah, you can't just eat
Yep.
scrambled egg whites. Ugh,
Impossible.
disgusting.
I mean, I've done it.
yeah, but that's just because
When I
it's
need
medicine.
some, right. When I need some carbs, I've mixed them with. I know we got to get going here, but
Oh, that's fine.
we cut up the baby potatoes,
Oh yeah, yep.
and then she boils them, and then bakes them, and then puts them in the fridge for the week.
Right.
Well, then I take them out and then put them in the air fryer
Oh,
for
get
like
'em a
12
crisp-
minutes
get
and
'em a
just
crisp,
forget
yeah,
about them.
Yeah.
And then they're
Do you have
just
a
a crisp.
recommendation on the air fryer? My wife's been talking about getting
They're
one
all
of
the
those.
same.
Just whatever.
Get a big one.
Oh, right.
That's the only thing you're going to regret is getting a big one. Because we just got one. We got it for a gift for Christmas, and it's great. And we got it because we got it.
But you wish it was bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking at bigger ones at like Costco.
Oh, alrighty. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because in the carnivore groups, everybody's got a freaking air fryer.
Yep.
Because they'll stick wings in there. They'll stick a steak
everything.
in there.
Yeah.
And they're like, boom, it comes out with a nice crust on it.
Walk away.
Yeah. Walk away from frozen, walk away after a certain amount of time.
Yep.
I don't understand, but they seem to rave about them. So
I put what I was saying is earlier in the week, a couple times this week now, and I've had really high calorie days. Like I burn like 4,700 calories, which is a lot now that I'm lighter.
right.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
burn as many.
Right.
It's kind of a rip.
Well, because there's not as much fuel there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not the train's not as big, so you don't need as much coal.
Yeah. Right.
So, but the other day I needed some carbs and some calories and some energy, so I put those potatoes in the air fryer and then mixed those with the scrambled eggs and salsa.
Oh yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. And
And it was like a whole plate. I was carrying it. I said, Mel, this is 7 pounds of food. And I'm like, at the end, I'm like,
did you do the calorie calculation?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think it was?
I know what it was. You're not going to believe it. But I'm like, at the end, I'm like,
Say the number.
seriously, I'm like a little kid that can't
You couldn't
be
cram
excused.
it down.
Couldn't be excused from the table till you finish. So I'm playing with it. But I needed it all. So I crammed it all down.
Satiety was there.
Oh, I was like Thanksgiving full, and it was like 520.
frickin-
It was like 520.
Oh wow. Yeah, potatoes. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
potatoes are so effective.
Yep.
Because it's almost impossible to overeat.
Yep.
On just
and
potatoes.
And it was under 400. Or no, it was just over 400 without the salsa.
Wow. Yeah. So if
Like-
you let that off,
Like 5
it
pounds
would
of
have been
food.
and it would have been even harder to consume.
Oh, it would have been miserable.
Yeah.
The salsa makes it.
Yep.
It's like a skillet you'd get at like Kroll's.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nothing wrong with that. You got to find a way to enjoy this, you know. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. So make sure you send emails to info@fitandfurious.com. Make sure you're watching on YouTube. You know, we almost saw Tommy Lee's wang in there, but we saved you. We saved you from it.
Almost. You say
We saw it,
You did say me.
but they didn't all see it. They can all search for it too if they want. Make sure you listen anywhere audio podcasts are found. Save yourself from seeing Tommy Lee schlong. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and share. Support the show at FuriousMerch.com, and we will see you next week. Girls, girls, girls.